Hi, my name is Mickey Wallace, and today I'm here on behalf of Hackley Public Library's Youth Storytime to share with you the beauty of Kwanzaa. Before we get started today, a lot of you will be introduced to Kwanzaa for the first time, and many more of you will be reintroduced to Kwanzaa. I'd like to share a bit about why I practice and appreciate Kwanzaa. First and foremost, Kwanzaa gives me a deep sense of connection, which for so many of us, people of color in the States and across the world, we have a segmented or fragmented connection with our roots. And Kwanzaa gives me a sense of meaning, connection, lineage, and pride in that. Secondly, the principles of Kwanzaa aren't bound by religious guidelines. It's more of a spiritual practice, and the principles of Kwanzaa can be practiced no matter where you are, no matter what background you come from, no matter what your ethnicity is, no matter what spiritual or religious practices you already participate in. The principles of Kwanzaa apply to humanity, and that's one of the reasons I love it so much. So without further ado, we'll get into our publication for today called Let's Celebrate Kwanzaa, written and illustrated by Mrs. Ariel Phoenix. Let's get started. What is Kwanzaa? Kwanzaa is a Pan-African holiday which celebrates family, community, and culture, created in 1966 by Dr. Maulana Karenga. Dr. Karenga is an African-American professor, author, and activist who was also a prominent figure in the Black Power movement of the 1960s. When he created Kwanzaa, his goal was to establish a holiday for the African-American diaspora to celebrate and embrace their heritage and culture and give thanks and prepare for a fruitful year ahead. He believed through celebrating our roots, we would be proud of our African heritage and appreciate the many struggles of our antecedents. Although it was originally created for the African-American community, Kwanzaa is now embraced and celebrated by Black people all around the world and serves as a reminder that we are all connected and we will always have a reason to celebrate and give thanks. Kwanzaa derives from the Swahili phrase, Matunda ya Kwanzaa, which means first fruits of the harvest, or more simply, first fruits. Kwanzaa is 7 days long and is celebrated from December 26th to January 1st. One of the 7 days of Kwanzaa, on each of the 7 days of Kwanzaa, the family will light a candle, discuss and participate in activities that relate to the principle and theme for that day. Many people assume that Kwanzaa is a replacement for Christmas and that celebrating one means you cannot celebrate the other. While this might be true for some, this is certainly not the case for everyone. The celebration of Kwanzaa tends to unite Africans based on commonalities and, as such, irrespective of your religion, political standpoint, tribe, or any social community you belong to, you can embrace and include Kwanzaa in your annual traditions. Kwanzaa is not a religious holiday, but a cultural one with an inherent spiritual quality. Dr. Maulana Karenga. December 26th, Day 1. Umoja, unity. To strive for and maintain unity in the family, community, nation, and race. Family is a gift. There is the family that you are born into and the family that you choose. There are family members and ancestors that you will never meet and family that you will lose. When we celebrate the principle Umoja, we are choosing to acknowledge and value each other. We are choosing to embrace and celebrate ourselves wherever we may be in the world. Today, you could all write some poetry on the theme unity and share or go see a show or a performance together. Day 2, December 27th. Kujichakulia, self-determination. To define ourselves, to name ourselves, create for ourselves, and speak for ourselves. On this day, Kujichakulia, it is the perfect moment to read and learn about great African achievements. You can study Black history in your own town or country, or you could explore great African achievements across the seas. Whatever interesting stories and facts you discover, you can share with the rest of the family during dinner. Self-determination is a key principle because if you know who you are, other people's projections, expectations, and objectives cannot define you. Kujichakulia is all about character building and growth. This is why learning about the advancements of some of our ancestors is a great place to start. It reveals the journey and obstacles we might need to face in order to achieve our goals. Day 3, December 28th, Ujima. Collective work and responsibility. To build and maintain our community together and to make our brothers and sisters' problems our problems and to solve them together. The story of Ubuntu really puts Ujima into perspective, and the two are closely related. This story displays what it looks like when you value oneness and teamwork and actively practice it. One day, an anthropologist who was studying an African tribe decided to play a game with the children of the village. He gathered some sweets and put them in a big basket and then called all of the children over. He explained the game to them. The first one who makes it to the sweet basket gets to keep them all. The children looked at each other and smiled as they took each other's hands and ran in unison towards the sweet basket. They all arrived at the same time and divided the sweets equally amongst each other. The anthropologist was shocked and asked the children why they had decided to run together instead of racing each other and winning all of the sweets. The children replied, Ubuntu. How could any one of us be happy when all of the others are sad? December 29th, Day 4, Ujama. Cooperative economics. To build our own businesses, control the economics of our own community, and share in all its work and wealth. Do you have an idea for a business or a project you could start with your friends or family? Let's not do it just to survive, but let's do it as a strategy to prosper. W.E.B. Du Bois. Continuation of Day 4, Ujama. Let's talk about partner. A group of people decide that each week they will put away a specific amount of money. This collection is called a hand. After a set period of time, one person collects all of the money, and they repeat this until everybody gets their sum of the money, draws partner. They decide who will act as the banker and be in charge of this arrangement. So, for example, if 10 people are in the group and throw a hand of 100 weekly, over the next 10 weeks, the banker will pay 1,000, the draw, to one person each week until everybody in the group has drawn partner. What an interesting system. Capitalism has always been one of the biggest contributors to inequality, and as such, cooperative economics has been used throughout history as a means of growing and maintaining finances, building businesses, buying a house, or simply surviving. During slavery, for example, even though reading was illegal, Black slaves who could read would teach others. They understood how important it was that this skill was passed on and the opportunities having it may present. Similarly, on Sundays, which was a day off of sorts, they would collectively farm small gardens and share the produce amongst themselves. In some cases, they would save to buy each other's freedom. This is also where Jamaicans got the concept of the partner or partner system, a savings collectively. African slaves would use partner money to buy their freedom. In even more recent history, in the United Kingdom, during the Windrush period, those in the Afro-Caribbean communities used partner to help them finance all kinds of things. This old African tool for liberation is still used today. Modern-day cooperative economics is still very much about survival, but even more so, it's about prosperity. December 30th, Day Five Nia Purpose. We all have a purpose during our journey of life. It could be one or two or as many as five. So many options and ladders to climb. But ask as many questions you need to help you decide. Nia is a day for deep thought and reflection. Each year during Kwanzaa, ask yourself these questions and write your answers down in your diary. You do not need to know all of the answers now, just have a think on it. What makes you happy? If you could do anything at this moment, what would you do? Who makes you laugh the most? Where do you want to live? What do you look forward to when you wake up? Where do you want to travel to? If you were to open a shop, what would you sell? Who would you like to meet? What makes you feel loved? December 31st, day 6. Kuumba, creativity. To do always as much as we can, in the way we can, in order to leave our community more beautiful and beneficial than we inherited it. Creativity is celebrated all throughout Kwanzaa, and the entire family can get creative together through storytelling, poetry, music, cooking, drawing, and so much more. Here are some ideas for creative activities you can do. 1. Make an African necklace with beads or painted pasta. 2. African-inspired paper mache masks. 3. A unity flag, making using various bits of red, black, and green cloth or made using colored card. 4. Song making. You can use instruments, computers, or just household objects. The songs are guaranteed to be family hits you can perform each year. That's one of my favorites. 5. Baking and decorating Kwanzaa-themed cookies. It's my second favorite. 6. Writing your own African-inspired poetry and stories. 7. Weave your own red, black, and green mika with colored paper or card. And the mika is a mat. We'll get to that shortly. 8. Create your own board game. Come up with the concept pamoja, together. January 1st, day 7. Imani, faith. To believe with all our heart in our people, our parents, our teachers, our leaders, and the righteousness and victory of our struggle. Imani is a profound and enduring belief in and commitment to all that is of value to us as a family, community, people, and culture. Dr. Mulana Karenga. If we embody this level of faith, we will value ourselves, each other, and our communities, and never seek to imitate what is outside of us. We will become innovators, inventors, and influencers. It is always important to remember that each and every one of our ancestors who fought vehemently through the struggle did so with faith in a better future. A good exercise to try today might be the trust fall if you have enough people in your home. Fold your arms, close your eyes, and fall backwards into other person's arms. You definitely got to have faith to do that, right? All right. Kwanzaa symbols and their meanings. You heard us mention the Makika. We're going to cover the other symbols of Kwanzaa. So what we just covered were the 7 principles of Kwanzaa. And remember, Kwanzaa is not a religious holiday. It's a cultural or even spiritual practice that can be celebrated by anyone, wherever you are, whatever background you're from, whatever your current situation is. You can employ the 7 principles of Kwanzaa into your daily activities. Now we'll discuss the symbols of Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa symbols. Makika, or the Kwanzaa mat. The Makika is used as the foundation, and it represents our culture, tradition, and history therefore the basis on which we build. Mazo, the crops. Crops are a key part of traditional African harvest celebrations, as these are symbolic of the rewards of productive and collective labor. Kinara. Kinara is the Kwanzaa Candleholder. This is symbolic of our roots and of our ancestors. Mohindi. That's the corn. This is symbolic of our children and our collective future. Even if a family celebrating Kwanzaa does not have children, the corn is still used as an acknowledgement of our children, as traditionally it was understood that it takes a village to raise a child. Mishuma Saba. Those are the 7 candles. These 7 candles represent the 7 principles of Kwanzaa. Each candle is a symbol of a principle. 3 of the 7 candles are red, representing the bloodshed and the struggle. Another 3 are green, representing hope for the future. And the last candle is the black one, which is placed in the center of the kinara and represents the unified African people. Kikombe cha umoja, cup of unity. This is symbolic of the foundational principle and practice of unity, which makes all else possible. And of course, zawadi, which are the gifts. These are symbolic of the labor and love of parents and the commitments made and kept by the children. Gifts can be used to acknowledge the accomplishments of the child and also to encourage them for the new year ahead. If you're really into the spirit of Kwanzaa and you can find yourself this beautiful looking instrument here, it's not just any old drum, it's called a Jinbei. If you're lucky enough to own the Jinbei, you can play it during Kwanzaa. The Jimbei Drum is around 800 years old and originates from the 12th century Mali. The name Jinbei derives from the phrase Anke Je Akebe, which means everybody gathered together in peace, in Bambara, the native language of Mali. A handmade Jinbei drum is said to hold 3 spirits within it: that of the tree from which the wood came to craft it, that of the animal whose skin was used to cover the head of it, typically a goat, and that of the craftsman who made it. The Jinbei drum is sometimes called the devil drum, for no reason other than the fact that it was traditionally made with the wood from a tree called dimba, also known as devil wood. The Jinbei has been used throughout history to communicate long distances between tribes. As we reflect on the red, the black, and the green colors of Kwanzaa, we stated that the red is for the bloodshed, the green is for the future, and the black is for the unity. But that has a history that many may not know of. Let's talk about that for a moment. Bandera ya Taifa, or the flag of the nation. The red, black, and green Pan-African flag of liberation has many names, but they all represent the same concept: unity. The flag was first introduced by Mr. Marcus Garvey, founder of the UNIA, or the United Negro Improvement Association, in the 1920s. In one of his Negro World newspapers around that time, he wrote, "Show me the race or the nation without a flag, and I will show you a race of people without any pride." Included in the remainder of the book, there are family fun activities, word searches, crosswords, and other activities that you can participate in as an individual or along with your family. We'd like to thank the writer and illustrator, Mrs. Ariel Phoenix, for bringing us Let's Celebrate Kwanzaa, and we'd like to thank Hackley Public Library for making this publication available to everyone who's willing. I'd like to thank you for sharing in this youth story time. My name is Mickey Wallace, and I hope you have a beautiful Kwanzaa and a very happy new year.